All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Berserk, episode 6. The Band of the Hawk is attacking a walled city.
That's right.
Which is stupid. Especially because, as far as we can tell, they don't have siege weapons. So maybe they'll have brought something that I haven't seen yet.
No,
maybe
Guts
they'll bring...
is the siege weapon, don't you know by now?
That's true.
He'll
just
start...
kind of wave his big...
Sword
at
the stone walls, and they'll just
all the ladies and the men will just go crazy and come out of the city and surrender. That's all it'll take. Or if anything, he'll pierce the gate with his
the heavens.
What they do have is the cannons, and
that's true.
I kind of forgot about those. Is those cannons would do wonders against a gate.
Yeah,
you just think about
it's kind of helpful.
Let's just chuck hot rocks at this gate, that explode. Yeah, it seems pretty effective. If anything, they could just point them up like mortars and just shell the city for a couple days.
Although
Griffin's attack the city. What are you, stupid? Have you not read Sun Tzu's Art of War? No, we're just gonna sit here and starve them out. Griffith's a genius.
Although if that was the case, the city would probably have cannons on the walls, or
right?
Something like
That's a good point.
But
yeah. But to be fair, there's less likelihood that the Band of the Hawk will miss, whereas them firing the cannons from atop their city walls, they probably, smaller target.
Yeah, that's true.
Higher angle,
Yeah, more range though. But anyway.
More range, but
they're attacking a walled city.
Yes, and it will be intense.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this episode and see how it all goes down.
Yeah.
It's a very strong castle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a big
Until
boy.
Guts impregnates it with his massive sword. Oh, he's grasping the Behelit. Yep. Oh. Zodd the Immortal. Oh my gosh. All right. That says 2-bit antagonist if I ever heard it. Oh, shoot. That's cool.
They have siege weapons.
They have siege weapons indeed. Wow. From the front lines. Wow.
Already.
Wow. Maybe this is where we'll get introduced to the monsters and stuff, like the not humans.
Oh,
that's how it could actually be an immortal. Oh, he knows. Nosferatu? That name? It said Nosferatu.
Yes. What about it?
I'll tell you in the discussion. Whoa. Jeez.
Guts isn't the only one that has, heroic classes.
Yep. Good grief. Alright, we've properly built him up now, and he's not a 2-bit villain, he is actually immortal. Well, yeah, I would too, if I was in their world, Oh, dang! Oh! Just standing in a gate, just wow.
You get a choke point,
Oh, buddy. He's already dead, isn't he? Yep. Dang. I'm doing this.
Time for the unstoppable force.
Black swordsman style.
Go meet the immovable object.
This is where he starts building his reputation.
As the black swordsman?
Yeah, kills an immortal god, basically. Demigod of sorts. Oh, shoot. Carnage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yo. Oh. This is actually very little maneuvering room, so Does he fight with his hands or something? He almost has to. There's not enough room for a really big weapon or anything.
Well, there are a lot of support pillars, but...
I guess. It's actually not as small as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Someone just died again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? It's just a mound of bodies.
Yep.
Holy crap. Yep. Yep, not human. Not human. Good lord. What the heck?
Yep. It's like, oh, that's how big this guy is.
It's Goliath and Super Goliath.
Right. Yep.
Yep. Jeez. Doing his typical guts thing of just blocking it.
Right.
Oh good, dodged, finally. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Alright, this is gonna be a bloody mess. He's their strongest fighter. Yeah, he's not human,
I wonder
dude.
why.
He's like half like pig demon and
right.
Yes. And
was it the tusks or the red eyes?
Right, which gave it away?
Or the fact that he's like 8 or 9 feet tall?
Yeah, and like 700 pounds or something. Yeah, that's not gonna last long though. Ooh. Yeah, he's not in the defensive pose. He's in a I'm going to duck through your swing like I did with Basuzo.
Right. My arms are much longer than yours.
Yep. Wait, did he break the sword? He did. Oh! Yep. Oh! Yep. Now pull it out quickly and stab him again. Continue. It's not over. Yes, that is where his heart should be, but... Oh... He's changing. Oh, what the heck? Oh, Guts, you are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Leave now. Whoa, this is some Balrog level Lord of the Rings. Do not want. Get out now. We need some like level 20 mage right now, or some kind of level 20 cleric to, the name of the Father and the do not want. Get out now. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. I forgot that this one was episode 6. That's right.
Hey, well, it's a common rule in fantasy. Once the villain transforms, they're much easier to kill. But I don't know about this one. Like the hand in his vision. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your existence causes some questions, buddy, because we saw things like you in the beginning, but... Yeah, I think he is a Minotaur. I think he has hooves.
He does.
Dude, you should go for the legs, man. Like, it's like toying with him. Oh! Yeah. Griffith? Nice. Griffith like not go in alone.
Yeah.
Griffith's like, I am not so stupid as to...
Now tactically retreat and fire again.
Yeah.
Maybe fire again?
Throw your sword. No, he's not that strong. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's like straight from the manga, right?
Probably.
No, Casca's gonna be like, I gotta go in there.
Yeah.
Griffith's orders.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Of course. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. His orders are absolute.
That's right. Just steps on him.
Yeah. Griffith's eyes are pretty determined. I want to see him dance with this monster. Like,
right.
just yep. Lots of little strikes.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this. Nice. Griffith cut off an arm. Griffith cut off an arm. Chuck my arm in your general direction.
Beat you with it.
Or beat him with it, yeah. Oh, the immortal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering when the Behelit would become a plot point. Oh, he recognizes it. The egg of the king? Oh, no. The crimson Behelit of the God Hand. Well, I was right. What's he gonna do? Is he laughing? Boy. Forget orders. Why? Yeah, Behelit. Of course he has wings, like a Balrog. Yeah.
Something beyond your understanding.
And Griffith didn't hear that. That's when I would, like, cut that off of his neck and throw it into a river somewhere, like the One Ring, and just be like, I don't know, dude. The demon thing took it and it just was gone. I don't know. It's just gone, you know?
Yeah.
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 The cape on the ground behind him makes it look like it's blood, but it's not. You couldn't protect him.
Oh, and he went in. Griffith went in here to save him.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Oh wow.
You have now been introduced to Zodd, the Immortal, or Nosferatu Zodd, which was
yes, Nosferatu is a reference to basically like vampires or monsters.
Oh, okay.
I think there was an old movie called Nosferatu back in the day, or some kind of story, Nosferatu.
Gotcha.
But when they said immortal, I think it was Zodd and Nosferatu Zodd. I'm like, all
right,
so
yeah.
This is an actual like monster from the thing there, and then they showed it is more than that. It's some kind of Balrog demon thing.
Something.
Yeah, and here's the thing that this show has brought up more and more, and now that they brought this monster into the show again, is such that there are creatures, or there are dark beings of sorts that exist in this world.
Yeah.
And they don't like exist in some spiritual plane or whatever. Like they might as well, but there's physical incarnations of these things.
Yep.
And they are doing things on the planet. Why? Who knows?
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
The point is that generally these types of beings in the story of fantasy, they're all led by some will. There is some there's something that's there. And the thing is, the immediate thing I think of is like, what wills them? What gives them orders? What's in charge of them? You get brought up to the very thing it's in the beginning with a demon kind of hand thing, talking about, is there free will? Or is there some kind of fate, like the hand of God? Oh, and what's the Behelit? The Crimson Behelit of the God Hand. Which, synonymous with the kind of the demons kind of thing or what have you. Maybe this is the Behelit. I was wrong. Maybe the Behelit's a good thing. That's like 2% of my brain actually believes that. No. He recognized it and was like, oh,
that's the ploy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ploy.
Right.
The ploy. What an odd choice of words.
Yeah.
I wonder why this demon thing would basically be like, I could just kill them. But they kind of interest me because they actually were able to wound me. And I'm immortal, so who cares? I'll just leave and they'll be fine. But this Behelit thing, huh?
Well, and he was about to kill them. He was going to be like, oh, yay, 2 people that can, that I can actually, like, fight.
And right, but he didn't look at it in fear of, like, I better not touch them. They've been cursed by the Behelit's influence or whatever. If I interfere with this, it could undo my own being or something like that. It was more of the,
I see what's going on.
You're doing that. Okay, cool. Then I don't have to do anything. Y'all are going to die anyway. Like that's the thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that Griffith, they brought up his ambitions, specifically the demon did, Zodd, that his ambition, when it falters, will get Guts killed. Now, here's the thing. We know Guts isn't going to die.
Did he say falters or fails?
Fails. I think fails, you're right. Okay. I think it was one of those two, but I think you're right. I think it was fails. When Griffith's ambition basically fails. Fails and falters is basically the same thing. But yeah. The basically he's prophesying his doom of Guts' doom. The thing is, Guts, we know at the very least at that point in the story that we had a flashback forward to, is okay. He's alive at least, and Griffith is king at that point.
So
Guts is there to kill Griffith. So the prophecy thing probably doesn't work out in that way. But maybe it is kind of what we were what they're kind of foreshadowing in that Griffith, when he becomes king, he won't be able to really be he won't really be able to be
free.
He won't be free. He'll be bound by the duties of being king.
Right.
And he'll let the kingdom basically fall into decay and turmoil. And Guts is trying to set things right or something. I can only guess where the Band of the Hawk are and all of that. But with the Behelit being this big of a plot point brought up again already.
Yep.
I'm very uneasy right now because they just...
I love how Berserk can do that.
Yeah, it's a good show. The thing is, I can tell why people want me to read the manga in particular, because there's a lot of still images in this in particular.
Right. And the still images are like the best parts of the anime a lot of the time.
That's true. But yeah, guys, in general, like, don't worry. Once this is over, I'm, if it doesn't have a reason for me to avoid reading. Basically, if there's a reason to avoid reading the manga when I'm done with the anime, then I won't. But, that's like a very slim chance, I'm guessing. I'll just read the manga. And that'd be fun for us to read it together or something.
Yeah, because I haven't read it yet, and I've heard it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've heard it's one of the greatest manga of all time.
Right.
As far as mangas go. And I don't have a lot of experience with manga, so it'd be fun to start out reading one of the greatest manga of all time.
It might ruin you for...
It might, but that's fine, because I'm not a manga guy in general, so if I was going to do just one in my life, it might be good to do what's considered one of the best ones.
One of the things that I absolutely love about this episode is, if you think about it from a standpoint of, specific plot points that are brought up.
Yeah.
Not really the Behelit so much, because there's so much, mystery surrounding that, but the whole idea of, Zodd and stuff. Some big monster that kills tons of people and, has a final form and, and all that. If someone were to tell me about that out of context, let's say I hadn't seen Berserk and someone was trying to get me into the show by say telling me about this episode, I would be very much just that sounds kind of dumb. That doesn't sound super interesting. Where's the uniqueness to that? But then they execute it like they do here. They make it so that Zodd really is actually terrifying. They make it so that Guts is actually genuinely terrified. There were a ton of moments where he probably could have tried to attack him, but he didn't, because what the hell is this thing? And Griffith comes in to save them, but they can't actually beat this thing. They're not going to power of friendship or
that's
something
true.
like that. The only reason they're still alive is because for some reason it saw this Behelit thing and was like, oh, I'll let them live. You know, and that's fantastic because it keeps it so that I can respect the idea of some monster like Zodd because they keep everything else around Zodd very like rooted in like the gritty realism of what it would be like to see something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You don't try and fight something like that, not really. Like you just try.
No, you're not Gandalf the White. Like,
yeah.
You're not
swords
gonna start,
are of no more use here. Like
right.
Just run and hope you can live. Like
yeah, swords are of no more use here. That's a great line for this episode in particular, because that's literally all like Berserk is. It's like, I've got my sword,
and that just solves all my problems.
I've got 99 problems, and a sword ain't one of them.
Right. But what happens when suddenly
sword is not going to be useful here?
Yep.
Yeah, and Griffith's silver tongue is not going to be useful.
Nope.
Casca's loyalty isn't going to be useful.
Nope.
It's one of the things that you get the feeling that if these beings exist in the world, they are the superior species on the planet. Humans don't know magic, as far as I can tell.
Right.
And this is actually a very interesting thing. In fantasy stories like this, generally when there are magical creatures of sorts, you know, demons and you know, whatever, the humans have some way to tap into the arcane powers or the demonic powers of these greater beings.
But as far as we've
seen, there's nothing like that. Yep. In fact, the Behelit is the closest thing to that.
Right. And it's something that they very much don't understand. And, you know...
Well, that's the thing, Jacob.
Yeah.
It's not about understanding it. It's about knowing it's bad.
Right, yeah.
The story does not paint it as this, like, shining red Aja jewel that will
help us defeat the enemy. Nope. This is like something where it's like the one ring, basically. It's like well said with that. It's like you want to just cut it, throw it, bury it, and just go the opposite direction and forget that thing ever existed.
But you see, that's the thing. If that's the response we get to a trinket which is connected to a being like this, why haven't these beings just cannibalized the earth?
Right.
They have some other reason for being here other than that.
Right.
That's terrifying. Because if you look at one of them, one of these things, he might be like the strongest one. We don't know. Like, for all we know, we've seen that other one that had the snake kind of stuff going on there. He seemed pretty strong, but the thing is, Guts as the Black Swordsman at that time was probably a lot better than he is right here.
And he also had the hand cannon.
He had the hand cannon and the
helped out,
ranged crossbow gauntlet thing.
He would have been dead if not for those things.
Yes, but that's the point still, is that Guts is a legendary Black Swordsman kind of, you know, feared
he's leveled up
a
few times since then.
Yes, he's a level like 18 barbarian at that point versus a level 8 barbarian.
Right, and he stumbled into something. It's like, all right, we'll just go. We'll take this castle. Yeah, it'll be great. And
he sees the enemy's level at the top, and it's just 3 question marks. He's just like, oh no. Oops. I stumbled into the wrong MMO zone. Like, I'm going to peace out that way.
The person that's controlling Guts' character, if this was like a tabletop RPG, just sort of turns to look at the GM and is like, okay, what's going on here? And the DM just has this, like, both entertained and like horrified expression on her face, like
get out, run.
It's like, I was trying to like tell you this was a bad idea, going this way with all the bodies and the blood, you know, but you just kept going forward, of course. Yeah.
You dumb brute with your sword and everything, wanting to stick it in everything. Of course you do. Men are all alike, you know.
The DM finally was like, okay, so there's this min-maxed character that's a real problem. Fine. You think you can just fight your way through anything? Well, how about this?
But here's the thing. I still have to keep bringing this up. Like, these are questions that they're going to answer somewhat. Like, not necessarily in the, like, the details of, like, you know, most shows, but this whole story is framed around the idea now. Like almost empirically so at this point, because they brought up Nosferatu Zodd and didn't end his storyline with a power of friendship hacking off his head by the moment of time that he was distracted by the Behelit, and Griffith was able to stab him in the back, and Guts heroically tore off his head, and yay, the Band of the Hawk, you know, woohoo. No, this is a very foreboding sense of
doom.
What what are we walking into? First of all, there were people in that castle. Real people. Human people. Okay. Right? Why was this demon lord guy in the castle at all in the first place? Was he ruling the people? Was he in charge and stuff? Mercenary bands and stuff say, like, we worship him. He's like some kind of like god in a way because he's the god of battle and stuff. So he's been around for centuries. Are these demon things just like lost pieces of some bygone era? Or is the country, the empire that they're fighting against like, in league with demonic forces, essentially?
Sure. Well,
there's all these questions that are brought up that are way bigger than just Guts and Griffith's story.
Right.
It tells things about the world by just having him exist at this point in the story just as much as there was a demon monster thing in the first episode of the story, which is way later. Like, you can tell it's way later. Like, Guts is a different person in the first episode.
Yep. Well, and one of the things that I like about this is that since this is in like a medieval setting and all that stuff, there's no internet. Word travels very, very slowly. And if this guy was, say, ruling that castle, I can't remember exactly what the whole situation was. But if he was, if he just didn't go out much, people wouldn't really know. There'd be the people that maybe serviced him or whatever that actually interacted with him.
Scared and
that were scared of him and wouldn't say anything or whatever. But word wouldn't really get out.
Well, that's the other thing, is that all they might look at him is go like, you've got some weird features, buddy.
Right.
But he might have never showed them his true form.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
And that's the other thing that's kind of terrifying, is that if you think about, this world, and the only reason why the presence of another species, essentially, monsters, which, to be fair, the monster in the first one and the monster in this one had no biological similarities. Like, they're fundamentally different creatures.
Right.
But in that vision bit where there was all the and stuff, whatever those people were, they're probably monsters too, or at the very least they are the kind of people that are in communion with the monsters. And this is the other thing, is what if that's the whole thing with Berserk, is that there's these people, regular people, masquerading as people.
Sure.
And they're just monsters. And the Behelit in particular, being passed on to Griffith, if there's this whole thing with fate and stuff, maybe the woman that passed it on to him saw the destiny on Griffith and was like, I'm going to play a little game here. And that's where the ploy comes in. And that was some kind of demonic creature manifesting as some, just old woman or what have you.
Kind of woman.
Oh, yes, I am here as a plot device primarily to give you the thing that will make all the bad things happen to you.
Yeah.
But I'm totally just an innocent old lady. No nefarious Nosferatu. I mean, nothing of that nature here.
No, you can totally trust me.
Totally trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's the other thing. The fate thing, the fate versus free will thing that's going on in this. When you bring up the subject of fate/free will in the context of any kind of superior beings, like God Hand, and they bring that up specifically in the opening, is you wouldn't really know whether or not you had free will if there were beings of that nature that were puppeteering events and stuff. Because you would think at certain moments, hey, I exercised free will there.
Right.
Like, that was at least a proof of it or something. And they'd be like, well, did you?
Right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really? And I think that's more of the thing that we haven't gotten into yet. But the show is prepping us for that. Like, the opening is definitely prepped for that. But the fact that the Nosferatu Zodd, basically he saw Griffith's fate. And he's just like, I don't have to kill him. He's already dead. He's basically like, all right, cool. This guy's ambitious, right? Like, he knew he was ambitious just by the fact that, he looked at him. Like, there's no internet, right? So he doesn't immediately know just by looking at the guy, oh, this is Griffith of the Band of the Hawk, and he has the ambition to become king, because we know Griffith hasn't told anyone about those ambitions except for, Guts and stuff. He has his dream, which might be known a little bit throughout the land, because, the Band of the Hawk's pretty big and stuff like that. Is. But no, he divined, basically, this is what your goals are, you have these ambitions.
Well, and he also said, let me tell you your doom, Guts.
That's the kind of thing where it could be just, I'm going to unsettle you with my...
Right, or it could be, I can actually see the future.
I can actually see the future. And I'm willing to bet that he can definitely see the future. He definitely is telling the truth in some way. Guts is definitely not going to die, at the very least, and anytime soon. But that does call into question, could the anime be reaching that end point basically before the end of the anime? See what I'm saying? Like, there's episodes after we get to episode 1.
Right.
That could happen.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
could be pretty cool.
Would be pretty cool.
I'm not even talking about anything really in the plot. It's just basically a big duel and what the ramifications of that are on the world itself. And now they've got this wedge driven between Casca and Guts a little bit, but I think it's a very teeny tiny toothpick wedge. Like, right now, Griffith is going to trust Guts way more once he wakes up.
Right.
And it's going to irritate Casca. It's going to irritate her a lot. But if anything, I feel like that the fact that Griffith loves Guts in this kind of you're my favorite kind of way.
Sure. And now we fought some sort of minotaur
and
demon
you saved my life
thing
and stuff
again.
Yeah. There will be a bond there that will be strong. And the question is, will Casca, because this bond eventually will break in some way. There will be something that goes wrong.
Sure.
Will Casca be instrumental in keeping it going as long as possible? Like they show her now being the one that's kind of causing a little bit of issues here and there. But it's really in the end, she'll be the one that's trying to keep it all together. That's a very cool dynamic that I think will be good to see, is whether or not Casca will be a continual wedge that drives it apart. Or she'll start off as a wedge and then she'll realize, wait, we've got a good thing here. The three of us in the Band of the Hawk, we can do anything. We together, and it'll be like the power of friendship thing, and then life will happen. Griffith will become king. All these things will start to happen, and you'll realize power of friendship doesn't solve everything.
Right. Yeah.
This show.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I think the fantasy aspect is all it really needs for me to call it good, though. Because I'm a sucker for just
I know, me too.
Slightly good stuff in fantasy.
And they do it so well of making it be not too much fantasy. Just that little bit of flavor thrown in there with the medieval. Until the monsters show up and stuff. But the idea that
the red trinket of nasty doom.
The MacGuffin of bad things, yeah.
The MacGuffin of seriously bad juju. Really, really, really. I don't know if Guts is a mercenary, right? So his worldview is pretty superstitious, probably.
Sure.
He does not have a good education. Right. So he probably thinks storms and stuff come because, the
gods are angry or something.
Well, no, he might not even believe in gods, but he has to question what he believes now because he just saw that thing,
Right. Yeah.
That's a really good point. Is how is Guts going to change as a person because he encountered this thing?
Yep.
And then will he maybe be like, hey, Griffith, that red thing there, the demon guy said this. I think you should toss that into the biggest ravine, canyon, whatever thing, dump molten lava on it, and just nope. Just
and then Griffith's no, I don't feel like parting with it. It's mine. I found it. It came to me.
It's mine. My own. My precious.
And Guts is just
it's corrupting him. Yes. It is actually kind of interesting to think about the correlations between the Behelit and the One Ring. Because in Lord of the Rings, they very quickly determine the line between good and evil.
Yes.
And the interactions between good and evil are bad. Like, anytime good interacts with evil, that's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. You want to avoid evil. In this world, evil is something that's cloaked. Evil is something that's hidden.
Right.
But the thing is we
even
haven't...
with the monster things. Yeah.
Right. But we've seen the pure evil, the monstrous evil, the ultimate kind of, like, evil can be really evil. But we haven't seen the ultimate good. And that, as a theme, makes the little Behelit thing just... I can't believe I'm reiterating this over and over and over again. But
I totally get what you're saying.
You realize how bad this is.
Because it's something that is like, it's the beyond us. It's the idea that, like, when Boromir says, like, no, we should use this, it's a gift to the foes of Mordor. But in this, there are no wizards. There are no elves that have been living for thousands of years. It's just like, when there's something like that, it's like, no.
A healthy dose of superstition might be really helpful about now. Yeah. If anything, it's kind of weird that Guts isn't superstitious, because he seems to have unintentionally gotten a lot of Gambino's kind of personality into himself. Okay. Even though he doesn't want to be like Gambino. And Gambino was pretty superstitious. Like, Gambino saw Guts
freak out when he saw the little
as a bad luck charm. He did kind of freak out, but he was more like, oh, it's creepy. He didn't say, like, I want you to burn that in the fire. So he's not really scared. If anything, I think Guts is a little bit too self-sufficient. Like, he believes that he can handle himself and everything.
Sure.
So when he sees something outside his world that he doesn't understand, he's like, as long as it doesn't touch me, I'm fine. Like just keep you and your feelings and your camaraderie and your brotherhood and that weird red thing at least 10 feet away from me, and we're good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of thing where I feel like Guts will change that over time. And then, of course, he'll get burned by it at some point. Because, the first episode. But, oh, man, it's like, it's building. You can feel the tension of just...
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the little, like, happy things along the way as well. And I'm sure that they're going to happen, despite the obvious, like, doom foreshadowing that's coming.
Right.
Oh, man. No. This really gets me on edge, too, the idea of reading the manga, because then that means the reason why the manga is probably so good is because, one, I've heard the art is amazing, but two, the story is good, which means that all these little things that I'm probably delving into, I'm probably, like, dancing around, like, some really good stuff, and I'm not even close to probably right about anything, but it's like, there's, like, a lot of good themes and a lot of, like, specific... foreshadowings and kind of plot threads that they build up in the beginning. Like, this is the beginning, in particular. So it's very important to pay attention to what's in the beginning. Yeah. And,
nothing, like, in beginnings of stories, nothing's ever really done just for the sake of doing it. Like, everything's like...
Especially in fantasy.
Yeah, especially in fantasy. Anytime where you have to set up some new world or system of rules of how things work,
you have to be efficient. Otherwise, you bore your readers or viewers or what have you.
Right.
So you need the characters to be good and engaging. You need the story progression to be smooth and engaging. And so far, the only thing not engaging about this story every once in a while is when they do that little clip thing where they like do a three-speed motion, everything like that. I have a lot of fun editing that out in Premiere, and I'll be like, and goodbye. That part redundant.
Yeah, because this was made back in '97.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Really, anything, guys. Like, seriously, I know I'm probably like you people are all like, oh well, the manga. You might as well just read the manga and stuff like that. Like, guys, I am an audio-visual, like, I need this kind of stimulus in the beginning and stuff, and I'll be hooked probably by the end of this to read all the manga.
What we can do is, when we read the manga, we can just listen to Forces on repeat.
But yeah, guys, if you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access. Discord access also comes with all the tiers there. There's full-length reactions there. So you can chat with us in the Discord about storytelling or what have you. But yeah, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.